All right, guys, it is Monday evening, a little bit after 6. You might be saying, what are you doing in a suit and tie at 6 o'clock on a Monday? Well, about 4:30, I got a call from a school, like one of the first schools I put my resume in at. And they called. Gentleman from the school called and said they had the director was there. He wanted to interview me. This was at about 4:30. I'd been a bum all weekend. I hadn't shaved. I took a shower, but that was early this morning, so we had been out walking, so I was kind of gross and sweaty and hadn't shaved, so I told him, give me an hour. He then told me the name of the school. Didn't ring a bell. But of course, me being me, said, yeah, of course I'm familiar with it. I'll see you in an hour. Took a shower, shaved, got all dressed, went to Google Maps, typed in the name of the school. Nothing at all. Google Maps was like, well, we have no idea what you're talking about there. Can't find any school named Youth International in Siem Reap. They have a Youth International University in somewhere in Hong Kong, I think it was, that came up if I wanted to go there, but that obviously was not it. So I decided to go to Google, just regular Google, and type in the name of the school plus, of course, Siem Reap. And I found their Facebook page. They haven't really posted anything on there in over a year. But still, they did have a little tiny map that showed that they were on National Highway 6. The weird thing is, I did not apply for any schools that are located on National Highway 6. I've not even been out that way, that far out. But I looked on the map. I talked to the tuk-tuk driver, said, hey man, do you know where this is? He assured me he did not. I'll get back to you. I got some music coming up here. I can't have it in the video. I'll finish the story later. Ooh, suspense. All right, now that that's over, I went to Google, and they didn't have a proper address, but they did have the name of the road, John Long Street. As soon as I mentioned that, tuk-tuk driver looked at me and went, yes, I know where that is. I know the street. We can find the school. I was like, cool. He was really nice too. He only charged me $1.50 because he didn't have change for, he wanted to, but he didn't have change, so he gave me a whole $1 back out of the 10,000 real I gave him, which is $2.50. Instead of 50 cents, he gave me $1, so I gave him a 500 real note, which is the only note I had in real under 10,000 because of the way I had to break the 100 the other day. Anyway, he was fine. He was like, nah, don't worry about it. It's good. But yep, we found it okay. And then it came back to memory. Yes, I remember going there and applying. There's a whole row of schools down that street. I remember I hit like 4 or 5 one day. Out of the 12 or so I've applied at so far, like almost half of them are on that road. This one's the smallest. It's also the most obviously not well known, if it doesn't even come up on Google Maps. But they've only been open for a year, as I found out. I met with the director, and I got offered a part-time job starting this Friday. 5 hours a day on Friday, but only 1 or 2 hours a day during the week. So it's really part-time, and the pay really sucks. It's only $3 per hour, which is atrocious. Very bad for this area, very bad. And obviously I can't live completely on that, but it'll look good on my resume. It's a start. I can still do my classes. I can still have my classes I want to start. I can still have them in the morning because I don't start teaching here until 11 o'clock in the morning. So if I wanted a class from 7 to 8 a.m., and have people pay me, I could certainly do that. And okay, hang on. Oh my God, man, people love to blast their music. Holy cow. Anyway, they have no problem with me teaching on my own, or they even said during the week when I don't have the 5 hours a day, I feel free to find another part-time teaching job at another school. They don't care as long as I show up there. The second thing is about the pay. Yes, it's really crappy. About $7 too low per hour. But they already have their own curriculum. They showed me the book and the course guide. And basically, I'm just going to be teaching basic vocabulary. Nothing complicated, no rules of grammar, nothing like that. I'm just going to be basically reading sentences and then have the children repeat those sentences over and over while doing what they assure me are fun exercises for them to help them learn and remember. So in other words, I don't have to do lesson plans. That's what I'm trying to say. They already have what they want to teach and a certain order they want to teach it in. So what I'm saying is, for $3 an hour, don't have to do lesson plans. I've already got the book out in front of me. All I got to do is show up, read, have them repeat, grade some tests at the end of every week. So I think it's worth it just to start somewhere, get my foot in the door. Like I said, that coupled with my private classes should be doing fine. So that was my good news today. The rest of this video is going to be about visas. Different types of visas here, the extension rules, which ones you can get for one purpose, which ones you can get for another. So as a forewarning, for those of you who are not interested at all in what you have to do to get a visa here in Cambodia, feel free to skip ahead to something a bit more fun. We are going to, my friend is having a birthday party here in less than an hour. He got the hotel, he's buying all the food, he's giving everybody 2 free drinks before you have to buy your own. So we will be going to that as soon as I get home. We'll be a little late, so that's all right, he'll understand. But yeah, if you don't want to hear about visas, skip forward to, you know what, just watch one of my other videos. There you go. Watch the one about the Angkor Wat miniature place I went to. That one's really interesting. It's way back in the past. I really like what the guy does. Of course, if you're interested in the visa situation, stay tuned, because I will be explaining all that starting right now. So there are several different visas you can have here, depending on what your purpose is, whether you want to work or whether you don't. There's only one type of visa that I know nothing about. That is the marriage visa. Apparently, if you want to come over here and marry a local, you can get a visa just for that. Now, I don't know how much it costs. I don't know how long it's good for. I don't know what or if there are any other requirements involved in obtaining it, because that's never been on my radar and probably never will be. The other visas are the retirement visa. This one's fairly straightforward. If you are 55 years or older, 55 or over, and you can prove you have proof of your monthly income from your country of origin, then you can get a retirement visa. It's good for 1 year. Costs around $300 a year. And it's pretty straightforward. However, on that visa, you cannot work. Part-time, full-time, odd jobs, nothing like that. You are not allowed to work on the retirement visa. So the three main visas that people get here when they arrive are the tourist visa. That is kind of self-explanatory. You can receive all three of these visas, by the way, upon arrival at the airport. During your flight in, they will hand you a card. You fill out the card with your information, attach a passport-sized photo, and hand it to immigration when you arrive at the airport. So no need to worry about getting it in advance or anything like that. Anyway, tourist visa is $30. It's good for 1 month. You cannot work on a tourist visa, just like the retirement visa. No odd jobs, no part-time, no full-time. It's $30. It's good for 30 days. You can pay another $30 at the end of the 30 days and renew it one time before having to leave and come back. So you can stay here a max of 60 days on a tourist visa. The other type of visa has two different attachments to it, I guess you could say. It's some people call it the business visa. It's also called the E visa. Some know it as the ordinary visa. When you hear these terms, they're talking about the same kind of thing. This is for people who want to come over here, stay long-term, and work. These are the ones that all the rules have changed about in the last 7-8 months, that has been causing the uproar among expats and other foreigners living here. Just like with the tourist visa, you can get it upon arrival at the airport, any airport in Cambodia. The e-visa will cost you $35, and whether you get the EB or the EG, and I'll talk about the differences here in a minute, no matter which one of those you get, the first one is still like a tourist visa, only good for 30 days. There's been some questions about, can you arrive at the airport and get and automatically get a 6-month business visa? The answer is no, not at the airport. At the end of the 30 days, you have options to extend the e-visa. You can extend it for 30 days, 3 months, 6 months, or 1 year if you meet the qualifications. There are no specific qualifications if you just want to renew for 1 month or 3 months. You can do that in country without leaving either visa type, just by going to an agency anywhere in town, any travel agency. Again, the cost 3 months is 80, or 1 month will be 35, 3 month will be right around $80 plus any fee the company charges. These are single entry visas, which means once you leave the country on them, they automatically expire, no matter how long you have left on them. So basically, if you get a 3-month extension on your e-visa and 2 weeks later you need to fly to Vietnam or Thailand or wherever, you'll have to go through the whole process over again, and it will be a gigantic waste of money. Now, the 6-month and a year extensions are for those who have a work permit and a letter of recommendation from their employer. That is the only way currently, and I don't know if I mentioned this, but all the information I've given you is to the best of my knowledge as of today when I'm filming this. This is Tuesday morning, by the way. You have to have a work permit to get a 6-month or a year extension. You have to have a letter of recommendation from your employer to get a 6-month or a year extension. So in other words, you have to be working. The difference in the E-visa types is that EG is the what they call looking for work visa. This is for people who may not be sure if they want to stay long term. They're trying to find a job. They don't have one yet. Get the EG. It's good for 30 days. You can extend it for 3 months at the end if you want. But you can only do that once. Keep that in mind. So if you're not sure if you want to work, that would be the one. If you're just checking things out, you just want to come over here, take a few months to look around, see if it's for you or not, that would be the one to get. That would give you 4 months in country and let you make your decision. Now the EB is the visa you need once you find a job. The reason you will need an EB is because that is the only visa that you can get your work permit on. And if you're working to be legal, you have to have a work permit within a certain amount of time after starting your job. Work permits generally take about 30 days to process and get to you. You will have to go get a physical. That physical will be about 30 bucks. It's not a full-on, I'm going to take blood tests and find everything wrong with you physical. It's a general, basically they're making sure that you're not going to fall down and die your first day on the job. It's just a standard cursory physical. Nothing invasive or intrusive. You will have to do that. You will also need the letter from your employer, of course. And you will also need a letter verifying your living conditions from your commune chief. I don't want to go too much into that, but Cambodia is divided into provinces. Those provinces are divided into districts. Those districts are divided up into villages, and those villages are divided up into communes. And every commune has its own chief. I've lived here since January. I have no idea who mine is. But you can ask anybody who lives, any Khmer person who lives in that commune, and they will know. They will have that information. You will need a letter from him verifying your address. Depending on who you ask, you may or may not need a background criminal check from your home country. So my advice to people coming over here seeking employment is to get that done and carry it with you here. Because once you're here and you need it, you'll have to go through some red tape at the embassy. You might even have to go to Phnom Penh to pick it up in person. I heard they changed the rule on that where you have to do that now. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. Yeah, but to get the work permit, you will need a job. You will need an EB visa. You will need a letter from your commune chief. You will need a letter from your employer, the physical, and maybe criminal background check that you are in the clear from your home country. It sounds like a lot. Yeah, it is kind of a lot, but a little planning ahead and it's nothing. It's really nothing. Also, if you come in on the EG visa, let's say, and you find a job within your first month, your best bet is to, and the only way to do this actually is, if you want to change your EG back to an EB so you can get your work permit, you will need to leave the country overnight and come back in and then get your, have it stamped for an EB. And again, you can only do the EG once, one 3-month extension after your first month. With the EB, if you come in on the EB visa, again, it's good for 30 days, $35. You can also get that extended once in country for 3 months or a month, but only once. After that, if you are not working and are not going to be able to get your work permit because you're not working, you can change it in country to an EG one time for an additional 3 months. Sound complicated? Yeah, it kind of is, but not really. It all depends on what you're coming over here for. That will determine what kind of a visa you should get. However, things might change in the future. Who knows? I would say if you're coming over here and you fully intend to get a job, either part-time or full-time, really quick, like you're going to hit the ground running, not take any time to look around, explore, or relax, then get the EB visa. Otherwise, I would suggest the EG visa, because that will be one less step you have to do to change it once you do find a job. With an EG visa, you find a job, you leave the country, come back, get your EB, and get your work permit. You come in with an EB, and then wait like I did, and wait to get a job. Then you got to change it in country to an EG, but then you're going to have to change it back again. Like now that I found a job, I'm going to have to leave at some point and come back to change it. So I would suggest getting the EB if you're fairly certain you're going to be working in the first 4 months here, to save you that extra step. If you're not sure, just want to look around, see if it's for you or not, either get a tourist visa or get the EG, looking for work. I would actually suggest, hello! I would actually suggest the EG, because even if you're coming over here to look around, if something happens, circumstances prevail, and you wind up going, oh wow, I got offered a job and I want it, boom, you already have your business visa already there, because you won't be able to accept it on a tourist visa. And like I said, if you're coming over here to get married, I don't know what to tell you. Don't know anything about that. I will never know anything about that. Do not ask me. Okay, so that's it for this. I think I've talked enough. I hope that answers some of your questions. I know it sounds complicated, but it really is not. It's just, there's just several steps, several things you need to get your work permit and change your visa types. But if you go to the travel agency here that I went to, they, like I said, really good English. They know what you're asking, and they have all the correct legal, forthright information on what your options are. So I would recommend them. All right, we're almost home. I'll talk to you guys later.